got good news. How do you like that? It's not common. Before I tell you the good news, I have a sobering thought about good news. Here's a fascinating philosophical question. Is most good news the end of something bad? You don't know, really? I think it is. I think it is. If you get through surgery successfully, that's good news. The bad news is that it's the end of the bad news of the surgery and whatever ailed you necessitating a surgery. Okay, you're right. Of course there's good news on its own. The baby is born. That's correct. But no, not end of pregnancy. Sean has a very fertile mind. No pun intended. Anyway, I think that more than 50% of good news is the end of something bad. I'm not complaining. I'm just noting. So here's a good example. This is good news, but it is the end of something bad. But it is really rather dramatic. England has banned the use of puberty blockers for minors at gender clinics. The fantastic libs of TikTok. You should all be aware of that site, libs of TikTok. And they show breaking news from, from Sky News. Yeah, Sky News. You know what? I'll send it to you. I'll play it, actually, Sean. It's only 47 seconds. So I'll play it when we come back from the break later. What else? Here's another news on the perhaps sickest of many sick tendencies the left has unleashed upon us, and that is the vast increase in the number of young people saying they're the opposite sex. They have emotional, psychological, mental problems, and asinine therapists tell them that they might really consider the fact that they're in the wrong body. I believe that of all the professions, is that correct? No, there's a tie for that title, but there is no profession that will need its practitioners to repent more than the psychotherapeutic profession. Teachers are up there with them. They're tied. It's from Red State. Devastating study blows up the entire transgender movement. The study, which was carried out in California and published by the American Urological Association, found that men who had transgender surgery, technically referred to as vaginoplasty, were more likely to commit suicide after the operation than before. I'm stunned that they actually published this. To go against the left takes some degree of courage. To go against the right takes absolutely no courage. Its results were neatly summarized by health and science reporter Benjamin Ryan, who has written for a variety of liberal news outlets, including the Washington Post, New York Times, and The Guardian. Study finds that the attempted suicide rate among transgender women, that's men who say they're women, who received a vaginoplasty, in other words, who had their genitalia cut off and had an artificial vagina to replace it, were twice as high in California during the period after the surgery compared to the period before the surgery. For the full episode of the Dennis Prager Show, go to pragertopia.com, sign up, and become a full member.